Hello, my name is Michael Waldrop Jr., and I'm an entrepreneurship student at Clemson University, and this is my entrepreneurship project called OpenSpot, which is a parking app for Clemson University students. So this is kind of the problem outlined. Parking at Clemson is just a complete and total chronic and expensive issue. Um, Clemson University students face issues like expensive parking, fees, ongoing construction. They have no real access to see real-time parking availability. This leads to issues such as wasted time looking for spots, students missing classes because they can't find anywhere to park, or if they park in the wrong spot, expensive penalties such as tickets or towing fees. On the right side of the screen, you can see that the cost of one parking ticket can be upwards of $120, whereas the average towing fee can run you, over $200, and it gets more expensive from there. Um, so OpenSpot is an app created to address all of these issues at the same time. Who we serve. So our target audience is going to be based around Clemson University students that live off campus that have to commute to campus on a day-to-day basis. Um, in having to commute to campus, students are often faced with challenges such as traffic from construction taking place on or off campus, as previously stated, just troubles finding open parking spots in which they can park in. So introducing OpenSpot. This is my app idea. Our little mission statement is this app helps Clemson students find available parking on campus while also giving the quickest routes by taking construction in the area into consideration. It ensures that no student can use parking as an excuse for poor attendance or bad grades ever again. So what it's going to do is it's going to use the already existing orange sensors that are on every parking spot on Clemson's campus, um, take the data from those sensors and give students updates of real-time spot availability. So when a car parks on in a spot, the sensor will read that that spot is taken. Therefore, a student will know not to go to that spot, thinking that they can park there before class. Same thing if a student leaves a spot, the sensor will send another notification notifying students that that spot is open and they can go and park there, be able to attend class and all of that. On top of this, it's going to have a navigation feature built in, similar to already existing apps like Google or Apple Maps, except this would be tailored to Clemson students and it would be a little bit more campus specific. It would be hyper aware of any construction or traffic that is in the area. So it would allow, students to gauge what time they need to leave their house to get to class on time. Zone identification. This is the part of the app that would show students what zones they can park in as opposed to what zones are meant for faculty or, something like that. So it would highlight where students can park as opposed to where, you know, they can't park. It would be funded through a small semesterly subscription of $3 to $5, anywhere between there, which is, far less expensive than any parking ticket that they would receive. So this is how OpenSpot stacks up to other apps that are similar to it that already exist. As you can see, Google Maps, Flowbird, and Spot Hero or ParkWiz. Spot Hero and ParkWiz um, have similar technology, um, but it doesn't have anything for students. Has nothing campus based. Flowbird is you only use it to pay for metered parking spots, which that's not the point of OpenSpot. We want free parking. Google Maps, it's a navigation app, but it has really not any good updates on traffic based on construction, stuff like that. And so OpenSpot would address all of those issues at the same time. How we stack up to the competitors. Some of the direct competitors are Flowbird, Spot Hero, and ParkWiz. These are all direct competitors because they are all parking apps. Um, Flowbird is used to pay for metered spot parking. You can pay remotely from your phone. Spot Hero is a reservation app, but it focuses on urban markets, downtown areas, garages, and event parking. And Parkways kind of does the same thing as Spot Hero. Some indirect competitors are like Google Maps, Apple Maps, and Waze. These are very widely used navigation apps, but none of them are tailored to students or can't have campus-specific traffic updates and stuff like that. Some other indirect competitors or substitutes that, hinder academic performance among students is trial and error parking, which is where students aimlessly drive around looking for parking, which can cause them to be late to class or even miss class completely, which is our final indirect competitor, which would be skipping class, which obviously can negatively impact students' grades. Um, this is how OpenSpot kind of sticks out and can't be replicated. There's already existing infrastructure on Clemson's campus that would aid and benefit this app. The parking sensors that exist already, that wouldn't be something that the app would have to install and pay a lot of money for. We would just have to partner with Clemson's parking and transportation services to gain access to that data. It's super affordable, $3 to $5 a semester. I mean, that's people pay more money for a Spotify subscription every month than that. It's very affordable, far less expensive than paying for $4 every day for a metered spot on Flowbird or having to deal with $100 to $200+ ticket or towing fee. It would use Clemson specific data, so it wouldn't be, tailored to all of the stuff going around in other areas like Anderson, Oconee, places like that. It would be Clemson's campus specifically. And this is the only real solution that encompasses all of the problems and addresses each one individually. Here are some interviews that were conducted among friends of mine, other students at Clemson. After asking 20 of them, I asked, have you ever struggled to find parking on campus? 90% of which said yes, with only 10% saying no. Have you ever skipped class due to parking? 60% yes, 40% no. Then I moved into, would you pay $3 to $5 a semester for OpenSpot? Which had a 80% yes and a 20% no. And then along with what would the most valued feature in the app be with real-time spot availability, taking a 75% vote, construction awareness 15%, zone identification 10%. So as you can see, it was pretty nicely accepted by everyone that was interviewed. Here are some quotes from students. I've been late to 3 exams this semester just for not finding parking. I would pay way more than $5 for a fix. Um, Someone even said, $5 a semester, that's nothing. I paid 120 in tickets this year alone. So as you can see, everybody's kind of dealing with the same issue, and people would be more than willing to pay to have an app that would help them address all of these problems. Our business model, it's very simple, very affordable and scalable. We would start with, $3 to $5 subscription fees, cheaper than any ticket. Every Clemson student can afford it. If it really worked out, in Clemson, we could scale and move to other universities, try to help them deal with the same issues. Other, universities in the area, such as the University of South Carolina or the University of Georgia, something like that, and that would, generate more income and revenue for the app. Here are the launch plan and revenue projections. Phase one would be kind of like the beta test to see where the app, how it worked. Whereas phase two would be moving into, the referral program, partner with organizations, kind of move into other universities and stuff like that. And on the right, you can see the graph as the revenue increases. Here is the funding ask, $25,000 for 50% app development, 25% marketing, 10% legal and filing, and 15% operations. I feel like this is just an amazing price point for the value given through the app. And here are my works cited. Thank you so much for listening. And this is my project, OpenSpot.